Welcome back, family. Today, this is a very important word for the body of Christ. And of course, it is for you as well because it's going to affect you personally. But I pray that you would really listen up and tune in and hear what the Spirit is saying. Don't allow it to take you into a place of fear, okay? That's something that we always have to be mindful of. But really allow it to fuel your faith and let it steer you in the direction of more faith so that you can walk right there hand in hand with the Lord. And so this is something that the Lord was saying to me that you can expect over the next 8 years. Now, the Lord gave me this word back in February, and I just felt led to share it with you guys right now. This is his perfect timing to release it. And so he was saying that you're going to see multiple times where there will be a lot of rises and then falls, a lot of rise and fall. And so in the spirit, I had this vision. I could hear the sound of a roller coaster and I could feel it. I could feel like how it is when you start to climb to the top, and I could hear that click, 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 click as you start to get closer to the top before the descent, before you start to go down. And so this is what I was seeing in the spirit, and God is saying this is what it's going to be like over the next 8 years. There's going to be a lot of rises and falls, okay? And it's like 1 minute you're going to hear in the news all of this stuff that's going on, which is not great. It could be more disaster and more turbulence, but then you will hear of great victory and great blessings, and where it just seems like all of a sudden the sun is out again, the clouds have parted, and there has been a way made for more of God's goodness to show itself. Now, this is what you have to remember. God's goodness can look different, okay? So even when it seems like, because you know this for yourself personally, even when it seems like you're in the midst of a trial, you're in the midst of persecution, God's goodness still prevails. God's goodness is sometimes there's a cleansing that has to happen. Sometimes there are things that have to be cut off. Sometimes it can look like there's disaster everywhere. And that could feel like, is this really God's goodness? But yes, it is, because he has an order, he has a purpose, and there's a reason why God is doing what he's doing and why he even allows what he allows. Okay, so I want you to keep that in mind. But even just when the Lord is saying over the next 8 years, what does 8 represent? 8 represents new beginnings, as many of you know. So over this time period, and this is 2025 as this is being recorded, then you're going to see a lot of this rise and fall action taking place. But this is the opportunity for you to remain under the shelter of the Most High, for you to remain in that place of where you're trusting that God is constant. God is constant and he's consistent. So even when other things are rising and falling around you, you know, even when you experience that with prices, you see rises, you see falls, you see disaster in certain areas, you see natural disasters, but then all of a sudden you see this great deal of even people coming together, community coming together, the body of Christ stepping into their position more. So even with all of this going on, then you're reminded that God is constant and that he is consistent and that he is stable. That's your resting place. That's where you go back to. That's your grounding place, right? Right when everything else is going crazy, haywire around you, and you feel like even maybe you're at the top of this roller coaster. And for some of you, you may not like roller coasters. So you're like, oh no, this is so scary. I'm right at the peak of this. But remember that God is right there with you. God is right there with you, and he is faithful. He is faithful. So trust in that and rest in that as you hear this word, okay? I want you to share it with someone else who may need to hear it so that you have an understanding of what's happening, of what's getting ready to take place, what's already taken place, but so that you can understand what it really is, and so that you're reminded, because we have to be reminded to stay under the shelter of the Lord. All right, family. So I love you so much. I pray that this word blesses you. Again, share it with someone else who needs to hear it. Have a blessed day in the Lord. Remember this, okay? Be certain of God's certainty. Be certain of that. All right. Be blessed. Bye-bye.